Hi everybody, welcome back to another video. So this video is my February garden tour, garden plans, but as you can see I'm actually in the car because today is Saturday, so I've come to the garden centre that's local to us to have a look at what they've got and buy some plug plants. I'm looking for lupin plug plants today, but this place is absolutely incredible. It's such a hidden gem in my local area, so yeah, I just couldn't miss the opportunity to show you around and see what the garden centre has in store. So let's go. Okay, so February garden tour, and I'm going to start in the conservatory because there's not been that much going on in the actual garden this month. It's been very dry, but the weather's just not been very warm, so nothing's really started to get going. But I have started to sow some seeds, so I'll show you what I've done. Okay, so I've been sowing lots of seeds obviously these are the 2 plants that I bought at the garden centre. So summer snowdrift, and then this is a verbena, and I'll show you where I'm gonna plant that. And I also got some solar powered festoon lanterns. So I need to I put one set up, I need to put the other set up, but I'll show you where I put them, and then I'll do a video later this evening showing you what they look like when they're all lit up. But as you can see, I've been quite busy with sowing seeds. So these are the sweet peas I sowed in really early February, but look how much they've grown. They're starting to get their true leaves as well. So I'm really pleased about how these have come along. I mean, it's Nimbus, which has done really well. All of the seeds, apart from one, have come up. And then the Memorial Flight, that's got 3 up in this tray. The Sir Jimmy Shand has only got 1, and it's quite short. The rest of the seeds haven't germinated yet. But I'm not going to give up on them. I'll give them a few more weeks and I'll just sow some more. But then I've also got some more sweet peas, the same 3 varieties in these pots, and they've done better in these pots. So yeah, but I need to sow a few more, I think, because obviously if these don't come up I will be a bit short on plants. But really pleased about how they're coming along, so I'll be sowing some more this weekend. And then we've got 4 different varieties of seeds here. So we have an Echinacea white swan, and I'll put on the screen here what it should look like. We've got a Cosmos Psyche white. We've got an Italian white sunflower, and then we have a Aquilegia in these last ones. So I only sowed these last week, so I only had a week in these little pots, so I'm not expecting any seeds for another couple of weeks yet. Although being in the conservatory does help because they have a lot of natural light, and it does stay nice and warm in here, so that's really good. But yeah, I've just reused old egg boxes as makeshift seed trays, and then these are little like coir compostable pots as well, and I've sowed one seed per pot, and then in the egg cartons I've done sort of 1 seed per thing where the egg would go, and then the same sort of, I've just done 6 in each of these lid bits. So hopefully I'll have a lot of plants, but I need to plant a lot more seeds, and I've actually bought a couple more seed packets which I can show you when they arrive. I'm not sure if they're going to arrive this week, but so yeah, I've got a few more, but I'll show you where I'm going to put this verbena. Actually, I can take it with me, and I'll give you a tour of the garden. Oh, this is my last thing is my orange tree actually, and it's putting on some really lovely growth, and it's not lost any leaves over winter, so I'm really pleased about this. I want it to grow quite big. I'm hoping it will grow quite big. So yeah, and there's Reuben. So I'll start with a little tour of the garden, and then I'll show you where I put that verbena. So the first thing that's really starting to get going in the garden is my muscari. I love them in this pot. I think they just look so nice, the blue pot and the blue flowers. But they're really starting to come out now, and it's just nice to see a little bit of life in the garden. I also have some of my strawberries here. They're doing okay. I've decided in this trough I have a little strawberry runner which I need to take out, and some forget-me-not seedlings which I've taken from other places in the garden when I'm clearing weeds. And I've got this succulent here because I didn't know what to do with it. My dad gave me this, but I've decided this trough is going to be for chamomile, so I'm going to sow the whole thing full of chamomile, and that's some seeds I bought, so I can have a whole bed of chamomile and use it for decorations and tea. When I say decorations, I've seen this thing on Pinterest where you can like pick the flowers and then put them into ice cubes and freeze them, and they're like floral ice cubes, and they look so nice. So I'm going to do that. My alliums are starting to come up, so they're doing well. I've only got 3 so far, but I packed this pot pretty full of bulbs because I didn't know where else to put them this year. I definitely don't think that's how you're supposed to treat alliums, but I've done it now, so we'll see how it goes. But yeah, this one in particular is growing really strong, so that's really nice. And then in this pot is where my tulips and some more alliums are, and I've got loads of shoots coming up, so that's really promising as well. I'm looking forward to having some lovely tulips and lovely alliums, and then on top of this I'm actually going to sow erigeron seeds. Erigeron, I'll put a little picture here of what an erigeron is like, but it's also known as a Mexican fleabane daisy, and they're great for just coverage, and I think that's going to look so lovely. So you have like all the miniature daisies here, and then you've got all the chamomile seeds, flowers there, so that will be really lovely. So say I put up one set of string lights going from the barbecue area over the patio on the tree, and I'll show you. I'll have to take a video later on tonight when it's all lit up. They don't give out like light like enough that you'd be able to see, but it just gives the patio much more of an atmosphere, so that's just nice to have really. But yeah, the garden's looking quite bleak still this time of year. It will start to kick off soon, but yeah, still pretty bleak. And Ruben is just having a little rest on his football. Hey, are you alright, sweetheart? Is that your ball? Are you a gardening doggy? You are? You like gardening? No, not really. You like to sunbathe when mummy's doing gardening, don't you? Anyway, on with the tour. The next pot with actual growth in it is this pot, and as you can see these, oh sorry about the okay, the jets are still there, but they're going away. We live right by we live nearish to Air Force bases, and they do a lot of fighter jet practice in the airspace above our house, which is exactly as annoying as you think it would be. Anyways, these shoots here, these like long green ones, these are my snakehead fritillaries, so they're actually starting to come through now. They've put on loads of new growth in the last couple of weeks. The daisies, they're still going fine, but they need to be transplanted out into the borders in March. My rose is doing really well, and it's actually starting to put on new growth. So you can see here the bud, that's starting to grow, although in reality I probably should have cut this probably down to about here, because this one might get quite leggy. But all the other stems are also starting to get some new growth on them. And this is my this is kind of like a shrub rose, so it looks like a small shrub, whereas this, if I just widen that angle a bit, this is my climbing rose, so it goes up a lot, but look how much growth is on the top of there. So this is really starting to kick off now, and so I need to really get cracking with clearing the border to transplant it, because I don't want it to grow too much more, you know, and then I disturb it when I'm transplanting into the border. The grapevine still looks like a skeleton. It will until May. They're very, very much summer plants, but it's so nice to have it when it's in flower. Well, not flower, in leaf. So I'll show you where I'll put this. Going to put this verbena. I've also given this hedge a trim, as well as the other sort of along here. I've given this hedge sort of a trim in places, but I'm going to put this verbena here at the front. So I've got one verbena here, I've got another one in this corner here, and then I've got another one in that corner there. That one's not looking as great, but I need to cut it back so the new growth can come through. But that's a bit of a design tip when it comes to doing any border to make your garden look more cohesive. All garden designers work in 3s and 5s. So instead of having one of everything, it's much better, looks much more designed, looks much more cohesive if you have a plant that repeats throughout the borders. So for this border, and actually all the borders that will be eventually here and here, verbena is going to be repeated throughout. So this is only a small border, so just 3 plants, but bigger borders will have 5, and then just keep going up in intervals really. But don't try and repeat plants as much as you can, because it does just make so much more of an impact on your overall look of your garden, and gives it so much more of a cohesive feel. But other updates in this border are, these are daffodils that are coming up. So they've got all the leaves, they just need the flowers now. And the foxgloves. The foxgloves are getting really big now, really bushy. I think they're going to end up being absolutely ginormous plants. But someone, not Reuben, I think it's some sort of cat or I don't actually know, an animal of some sort, wildlife or someone's pet, has been digging in the borders just here. There's a little hole here, so damaged a few of this foxglove's leaves, but it's got loads in the crown, so it should be, this border should be full of foxgloves. So you've got one there, we've got one there, we've got 4 or 5 foxgloves here, another one here, another one there, so I just scattered a load of seeds last year and just sort of waiting to see what happens really. But this border's looking, it's not bare earth, there's lots of little seedlings starting to grow, and I'm adding in more permanent planting as I go along. But this should be a very full border again this year, which will be really nice. I've been mulching the tropical border, so we have a couple of seedlings here. I think these are called candy tufts, but we have the iris here as well, and the iris is looking really healthy. It's really strong growth, and I'm really looking forward to seeing what that's going to look like in May. And we've also got daylilies. So daylilies are orangey, really nice and bright colours. We've got a nice clump here, a nice clump there, then we have another clump just behind the hydrangea, and then another one there. So they're kind of in a line, but I think that should be really nice. And they're really the things that are looking the most healthy in this border. My aces are both, still quite dormant, but there's as you can, I don't know if it will focus. There are lots of buds on this acer, so I'm sure it will come into leaf. I'm not worried about it. The alocasia, I've chopped all the dead bits back, mulched it again with straw, and I'm just having my fingers crossed, I'll take the straw off when it starts to get really warm. But that probably won't be till the end of April, to be honest, beginning of May, unless we have a really hot spell. Again, just fingers crossed for this one. It might just have to be dug out. I don't know, but that's life sometimes, especially when you're gardening and you're sort of got a new garden. Everything's an experiment. The hydrangeas still dormant, still keeping the flower heads on, although they are starting to look very crispy now. But I don't know if you will be able to see, but there's a green bud there, and there's some green buds here. So it is perfectly alive, and it will be hopefully fill out this frame really nicely this summer. And then again, the japonica, Fatsia japonica, looking quite nice. Again, it's just nice to have had a bit of green in the garden over winter. I can't believe how hardy this is. So if you're looking for a plant that likes shade, part shade, in terrible soil, and you want it to be green all year round, this is the plant for you. I've taken the little hat off of the tree fern, so it can start getting a bit of air into the crown, because I think the worst of the weather's past now, and I need to sort of unwrap it probably at the end of this month, as in end of March, sorry, just to let it get some sunshine, and hopefully put on a really lovely display again this year. And that's about it for plants. So my jobs for March is to clear all of this border up to that trellis there. So to just prepare all the soil and clear it, prepare the soil, so I can sow all the seeds that I have sown, and put all the actual plants in this border. I need to keep on top of the grass, start cutting it maybe in March, and this patch is starting to look a bit better, where I sowed a load of grass seed, but I'm just waiting for the grass to grow back. I've been starting to clear the pond. I'll show you that in a minute. And at the moment, what I've been doing is starting to clear this border, ready to do my shake and rake cottage garden like seeds. So I've cleared up this section here, and I just need to clear the rest of it along here. I'm going to cut some of the lower branches. I'm going to ask Scott to help. Some of the lower branches off here, so more, basically this branch here, so more sunlight can come down onto this part of the garden, and we can have for the plants. Although, it's bad to have weeds, like it's not great to have weeds, but it just goes to show that things can grow here. So take that as a positive. If you've got weeds somewhere, yes, okay, you've got a weed, but at least something can grow there. Because if it was just completely barren, nothing was there at all, that would be a really bad sign. So I'm gonna weed this border. I'm gonna cut down some of the holly so we have more light. Start cutting the grass when it gets warmer. Hopefully it will grow. And the pond, the water looks terrible, not gonna lie, but I have been making my way through clearing it. As you can see, the bag is there. I just need to order a load of oxygenating plants, and a few solar powered pumps and water fountains to try and circulate the water a bit more, and yeah, keep clearing this. I have started to clear away a lot of the weeds along this section, so all this here is actually stuff to be chopped up and go into a green bag to go into the garden waste bin. But yeah, this area still needs a bit of tidying up. It's my wildlife area though, so I don't keep it too tidy, because obviously wildlife needs a bit of a wildness. But I don't know if you'll be able to see, but it looks like little red spikes coming out of the water all over the place. Those are actually the new leaves of the water lilies. So the water lilies are starting to wake up, they're looking very happy, and probably the end of March, beginning of April, when the water iris really starts to put on new growth. I mean, you can see there are some green bits, but not enough. All of this will be cut back so the new irises can come up, and I'll be taking out any old material, but yeah, they are white when they flower and they're absolutely stunning. So yeah, just a lot of sorting out to do. But the sun's starting to get into the garden so much more these days. So seed sowing season is upon us, and yeah, lots to look forward to. So I'm just in the barbecue area now, and I just wanted to say, even though I have sowed loads of seeds, if you haven't started any seed sowing yet, do not worry or think you're well behind, or think you're a terrible gardener because you haven't started yet. Genuinely, because of being pregnant, I can't be on my hands and knees weeding for too long at one time. I have to keep switching jobs. So because I have to keep switching jobs, I do some seed sowing, then do some pruning, then do some weeding, then I'll do some cutting stuff up to put into the bin. But if you haven't done anything to your garden yet, does it mean anything bad? You're not a bad gardener. I just have time to do it, so I've just been doing it. But there's so much time. I mean, March is really when things actually start to happen. February is still quite early, although I say that climate change kind of puts everything out a bit nowadays, and sort of traditional planting sowing times, I think, are really starting to become very skewed. So yeah, it's a bit of a tricky one. But yeah, I've got lots of plans for March in the garden, including things like weeding and sowing seeds and getting borders ready. But I'm also going to be sanding down the table, so ready for summer, and I'm going to be doing some big renovations on our picnic benches, ready for my the hen party that I'm planning for my best friend in May, which I'm so excited for. I mean, yeah, the festoon lights were like a purchase kind of because I know I was going to have a garden party, and I know I'm going to have garden parties in the future as well. But I just can't wait to be able to sit in this barbecue area in the summer when it's boiling hot, getting a nice cold drink out the fridge, the barbecue going, and seeing the dog play, and then our baby, enjoying the sound of the birds and the bees and the grapevine coming, back into leaf and everything. And it's just, the days are getting so much longer now, and I'm actually being able to do gardening after work if I can't do it at lunchtimes. So yeah, it's gonna be a really great summer. I'm really looking forward to it. And if you have any questions or you have any thoughts, I'd love to hear about your gardens, what you're sowing, yeah, just get a conversation going about gardening, because that's just the best thing, isn't it? So yeah, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed the little garden tour for February. Yeah, I'll be doing a few more vlogs in March, so I'll be able to take you along with all the little projects I'm going to be doing in the garden. Obviously I won't film me weeding too much, because that's quite boring for everybody, including myself. But yeah, I hope you're all very well. I hope you're all enjoying your outdoor space. Wrap up warm. You know, as my mum always says, there's not bad weather, there's just bad clothes. So, you know, a nice thick coat, your thermal gardening gloves, double pairs of socks, and it's actually very pleasant. So yeah, so goodbye from the garden, and I'll see you in the next one.